Alright, this is the first step in our journey to walk the entire Theodosian Wall. Right now we're at the Sea of Marmar. Take a nice look. All the container vessels just waiting to go through the Bosphorus Strait. Nice long walkway along the coast. It's quite beautiful. A little cloudy, but the forecast says it's going to sun up, so we'll see what happens. And there is our mission. You can see the walls. This is the very edge. We're near the Marco Tower, which is going to start our journey, and hopefully we'll have a good time. Okay, so here's a better shot of the Marble Tower. It's very decorative inside. It once, the base of it was actually under the sea when it was built, and if we can get around to the base, you should see that it was constructed of a lot of recycled material. See how the stonework is different on the bottom half? The top half is classic Byzantine brickwork. So I'm standing in front of Yetkule fortress. It is made out of the walls of Constantinople, the Theodosian walls, that is, by the Ottomans, by Mehmet II. Now it's a fortress, and it was once a museum. Sadly, it looked like it closed about a month. We missed it by about a month, but you can see a little bit inside. This is a place where a lot of executions happened by a lot of very notable people, mostly foreign dignitaries, as well as some princes. So it's a very interesting place. I'm very sad that we can't visit it. There's a lot of reviews online where people would visit this place and they'd basically have it to themselves and have a really good view of the city. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that. But it's worth a look, and it is made out of the Golden Gate. So hopefully next we'll have a video shot at the Golden Gate. See there. The city into Constantinople. This is where the emperors would enter. We had a few emperors go through as triumphs. We had one come back from a war, right, with a chariot led by elephants. Pretty neat. And it was the most glamorous. It was at one point covered with all sorts of marble and gold and all sorts of very valuable items. But it has been closed up once the Ottomans came, and they made that fortress on the other side that we showed just before, the Ukulai fortress, or Fortress of the Nine Towers. And now it's just closed up, and it's starting to deteriorate, and you can't even access it now. So it's really weird. You can see that there's the moat down before us, and in the present day, we've actually got people growing things here. So it's pretty interesting how people use it. You got the first wall, the second wall, and then if you look behind us, it's a little eerie. We have a graveyard, and we had to actually hike over tombs to get to this spot. Kind of like the dead are protecting the wall, the gate. It's a little eerie, but very interesting, very fascinating spot. Not easy to access, but it really makes you feel like you're part of history here, seeing it. Alright, so here we are. I believe that this is military gate number 2. That is Belgradi Gate. It was dubbed Belgradi Gate because when the Byzantines took over Serbia, a lot of them came and settled here in this area, and so they named it after the capital, Belgradi. It's also known as the closed gate because it was closed for a couple hundred years due to prophecy that if this gate was open, it would lead to the downfall of Constantinople. In a lot of places, you can see that they're starting to deteriorate through time. They're not being maintained. You got things growing on them. And see below, there's the gardens. So you see this all over the wall, that people are constructing gardens all along the moat. See where the gardens are all along the street there? That's where the moat was. And people are just growing them there. And it's really becoming a thing. A lot of the local fruits and vegetables are grown here, so very cool. This is a good shot of the lower wall, and views from the top of the wall to the lower wall, that's the second wall, and onto the moat below, which is where the gardens are. You can see the view. Very nice, well preserved. You can see that the little tower there is jutting out, so defenders can easily defend their position. Welcome to the Gate of Spring, also known as the Celembria Gate. This gate is important because it is through this gate that the General Alexios retook the city of Constantinople from the Crusades. This is in the 13th century. The Crusaders had taken over the city and wreaked havoc on it, and the Byzantines were forced out of it, but they came back, and it's through this gate that they took it. Alright, here we are. This is the Theodosian Wall, and this is a good segment that shows the different components of the wall. First up here, you got the start of the wall. You can see the foundation where the moats used to be. It's our first line of defense going to the first wall over on that side. If you were an attacker, you'd have to swim through the moat and try and climb up that first wall. It's about the height of a man, pretty difficult to do. You got all the slits where people could be firing arrows at you as you're trying to come across. Next, you have the second wall. You have to climb up that. Over there, if you take a look, you can see remains of a tower. It once was fortified around. And defenders can fire at you as you go over the moats, over the first wall, and try and tackle the second wall. Once you get past the second wall, you see maybe a bit back there, you got the different towers. The very large towers are for the third wall, the last wall of defense. It's the highest wall. It's the original Theodosian Wall. It's a very difficult wall. It's the best defense in the world. The only thing that could tackle it would be the invention of the cannons that were used by the Ottomans. So it's a very neat spot. Okay, so I'm here at Kora Church in Istanbul, near the gate. We took a little detour away from the wall, that is, and it's just a beautiful church. Most of it's under reconstruction. We can't go into the nave, unfortunately, but you can still see a lot of frescoes. And I'm going to show you some right now, just to have a few. Up on the ceiling is the Last Judgment. Okay, so we're nearing the end of our walk across the Theodosian Wall, and we've come across this little spot of land. It's a lot of grass here, it's been cut, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of that feeling that we're back in ancient Byzantine times, and here is the wall before us. There's no houses in the way, it's just what it would have looked like. There's been space in front. We're still missing our second wall, and we're missing our moat, but otherwise you get this feeling of what it's like to approach this wall and as an opponent wonder, how the hell do I get up there? So it's really neat. We missed a few things because of the difficulty of following the path. There's a few gates we missed I'm really disappointed with, but so far it's been fun. I'd like to do this again and document it a little bit better. We can even look right there, actually. We got an old gate. Probably one of the military gates, and closed up. This area is, excuse me if I mispronounce it, but it's Black Grenade. There was an original dimple in the wall that kind of came in towards the city, and when some marauders came in and ransacked the area, they built a second wall, this wall, to finish the entire wall to make a nice long span. And so this is what we're looking, the second wall. In this is a section, the Black Grenade area, and it's really interesting. Well, I made it to the prison of Nemes, very important prison located at the end of the Theodosian Wall near the Golden Horn. Well, unfortunately, it is being renovated. It is closed for visitors, so we can't go inside. Not much to see for us, unfortunately, but it was a very important prison. It held very important, prominent figures, including a few emperors, and very large. You can see it from the other side. However, from the other side, it simply looks like more of the wall, and actually videotaped from the other side, the previous video. So this is all we got, unfortunately. And we're just about to the end. You can see the Golden Horn. Here we are at the end of the Theodosian Wall. Behind us, you can see the remnants of the final bits and pieces of the wall. Along the street here, this used to be where the seawall, the Golden Horn, used to come in. Right there, this area would have been a dock area where there had been a port. A lot of vessels coming in because the Golden Horn was famous for its use as a port, as the one safe harbor. Just offside the Bosporus, very important. And this ends it. You can see the Golden Horn in the view. Right now we got a park, so this would have all been under the water at some point. This would have been where people would have docked their vessels. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us.